This is the dip we've been waiting for, and you guys should be freaking excited because now you get to buy things at a discount and you're gonna have opportunities that were not there just a week ago. Look at this as a great opportunity to make immense amounts of money, and you have 13 months to buckle your seats in and go rip that gas pedal all the way to the floor so that you can change your life. Okay, so let's start with Bitcoin. What's been happening? We've been talking about this potentially happening for a while, and leverage is generally what happened here. So with Bitcoin, as we know, there is a lot of leverage that was open in the markets. And when people are over leveraged, smart money comes in and goes, we'll just basically sell a bunch of Bitcoin and open a short, make a bunch of money and buy more Bitcoin, which is what big players do in this industry. If you didn't know that, now you know. So what's gonna happen next for Bitcoin? I was just at a lunch like an hour and a half ago, and I was telling my friends, hey guys, like I think Bitcoin's gonna pump today, right? We did hit yesterday a low of 60,775. I did say I'd be bidding around 59,888 or something like that. I wrote on Twitter. That may hit still. We're not in a perfect position, but looking at Bitcoin and where the Kijun is at, we're likely gonna probably come down closer to that. That can at least be at 56,800. So you gotta watch for these key levels. I would not be going heavy in. You might wanna go a little bit into the market right now, but I would be looking at this level, this wick right here, for us to come and retest that wick. Liquidity pocket, always remember those things. Liquidity pockets come back and they come back to the same price over and over again. What we're looking up for next is, are we gonna go 59 and hold, or do we actually come down to the Kijun? I showed you last video that Kijuns do bounce a lot in a bull market, so we should be watching for that, and that's where we're looking on Bitcoin. Now Ethereum is a little bit different. When we go into Ethereum, we got my level that I talked about like 5-6 days ago. I think Ethereum is likely gonna come down the Kijun. We're literally at the Kijun. I bought Bitcoin today on the Kijun bounce. Will this play out? I don't know. I can't ever tell you 100%, but what I'm doing is I'm buying Ethereum. I bought 30 Ethereum this morning as a starter, and if we go a little bit lower, back down to 29, I'll buy even more, and if we go even lower than that, I'll probably sit tight and wait and hope that I don't shit my pants. No, I'm joking, but but basically we're at a point right now where I do believe that the bigger players are coming to wash the smaller players out. We saw that with crypto quants. They put out a post saying that most of the people that sold were people that held Bitcoin for 0 to 5 months. So it's really normies that are selling, people that are new in the market, and there's gonna be a lot of fear if it's institutions because they're not used to this type of volatility. So it's likely they're gonna be the ones selling too. So Ethereum is, for me personally, a buy, and I think today we'll see it pump. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but I can tell you that for me, the risk reward is right now that we came back down to equilibrium. The buyers and sellers at the red level, the Kijun is where they meet, they're even, right? If we go below the Kijun, there's definitely more sellers than buyers, but I think that we just went way too high, way too fast on both Bitcoin and Ethereum and many other assets, which is why you're seeing them pull back. That is healthy. Just understand, markets can't go straight up or they come straight down like they have recently, very quickly and much faster than the elevator goes up while it's going up than when it has no brakes and it's going down. And that's what happens with crypto. Looking at BNB, it's held the Tenkin in the level at $506. Could that come back down to the Kijun? I definitely think so. As you can see, I have a BNB crossing $465 level right around the Kijun. I think if that hits, that'll be a good entry, especially because the Chiku is way above candles. We have a hooking up Tenkin. These are really good looking. BNB looks strong still. Same with Solana. Solana still looks strong. Now, obviously, people are freaking out. Oh my God, there's been this huge thing. There's a 3 inside down on the daily, coach. What's going to happen? Well, I did tell you that my zone to buy would be around 140 bucks, and our Kijun's now nice and flat at 145. Now, remember, people were like so ecstatic when we got to 145 from way down at 13 bucks. So to be like really scared here would be kind of foolish. But yeah, if you're looking for opportunities to buy in Solana, that would probably be this zone right here between 145 and $132 would be where I would be buying Solana right now. Going over to Radium, this is one that doesn't look bullish, right? And I'll tell you why. We're still tanking above Kijun. We're still above the candlesticks, but we're below the Kijun Sin. We retested the Kijun and the Tenkin, and it's likely this will come back down. Now, we don't have crazy amounts of support. We don't have like too little either, right? So we have this one level right here you can look at. That could be a nice SR level around $1.86. And if we break that level, it's likely going to come down a little bit lower. So somewhere around this level, around $148 or so, $145, somewhere between $148 and $145, I think we would come down to that level. If we go way back into the past, we really don't have a strong level of support anywhere there. So those would be our levels of support on the first side. So it could definitely drop lower, and it would really be indicative of meme coins. Are they done? Is the cycle going to kind of reload for the actual halving? We knew there would be a dump before halving. Everyone knew this. This was not news for anyone. We should not be surprised. So FET, talked about FET, said it's likely going to come down. So far that 21 EMA and the Tenkan have held nicely. Does that mean that it can't drop all the way back down to say, 26% to what is that, like $1.83? Definitely could drop down there. So I'd be watching this one. It does have that bearish formation in the candles here where it's kind of making lower highs. That's not a good thing if you're seeing lower highs. We'd really want to see this next thing turn into a gigantic boner candle, but we have to wait till kind of the US wakes up and see how they react to the prices going even lower since yesterday. Now AGIX is following the plan, right? We make a plan, we don't fail. We talked about it, I think it was $1.20, $1.30 when I talked about it and said, you know what? It's probably going to take a little bit of profit, likely going to come down the Kijin. We're way too far away from it. It's coming down. It still looks good, but I'd be looking to bid. And what you can do on your charts is very easy. Right click on Trading View and you click on Add Alert, and your computer will beep at you, beep, 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 every single time it hits those levels. And that's where you'd be looking at potentially buying if you're looking at a Kijin bounce type trade. So that's one. Hathor Network, same thing. So as you guys have noticed, the trading strategy doesn't change unless you keep changing time frames. If you're on the daily time frame, you're very accurate at trading, right? So that's something you have to learn, that you'll be more right than wrong if you use a high time frame. Very important to know that. Now Hathor ripped up, came back down. It's really in a nice position right here where I would actually look at this very nice position. If it comes back down to 12 cents, that'll be where I'd buy it. I just want to make sure that it doesn't break below, because actually on a ton of the charts, the price action has gone below the Kijin. So that might be a sign of like, oh, it's been oversold and there's a lot more sellers than buyers, and buyers will come back in, but it's something to be cautious of. Another one is Near Protocol. It's also holding the 21 EMA and the Tenkan. Again, as you can see, I have the crossing $5.76. That's where I'm looking at potentially scooping up a little bit more Near. Most of my Near, as many of you know, was bought under $2. Ankr Network. So this one, that big trade I showed you guys, it's from way down at 2 cents, so it doesn't really matter. But this also is a beautiful Kijin bounce type trade. Now we need to see a reaction this week, or it's likely going to go a little bit lower. And that thin cloud is not a really good form of support, but we do have supports way down at 3.2, and we just broke and retested. This now it's resistance, but was support. Let's see how that one plays out. I'm thinking the Ankr is going to be fine though. I think all the coins are actually going to be fine, but they might go lower first. And again, we buy when they go lower in a bull market. It's very, very risky to short in the bull market unless you're of a big bag and you're not scared of getting whipped out and you're good at stop loss placement, but it's very likely many people will get wicked out of these things as well. Now, one of the outliers in the market, I invested in this project, is Entangled. They have been an absolute godsend compared to everything else in the market right now, because they are just straight up and going. They have a 3 inside up on the daily, ripping through resistance. That's usually a 3 inside up comes off support, so it's not always bullish, but I do like seeing that formation because it tells me there's definitely bullishness in this project still. It is though, by the way, just so you guys know, it's up 100+X. So people who paid 2.5 cents for this are very happy. This is not me telling you go and buy a massive bag. I never tell you what to do anyways, but this is one just to show you that there is bullishness still in the market. We saw that with Nibby, it ripped on launch. We saw that with Portal. So we're seeing a lot of bullishness still in the market, but it is a time right now where I would be a little bit more on defense than offense. What I mean by that is, if you're someone who's like, I'm just going to deploy all my capital today, right now, it looks good, be careful with that, okay? It's always good to have dry powder. If you're one of the people who said, oh man, I wish I could buy this dip, but I have no money left, you're doing crypto wrong. You need to start taking profit, because if you don't have cash to buy dips like this one, you're going to miss out on multiple opportunities to make more money and compound the money that you're actually profiting. Because look at, I'll give you a perspective just to kind of end off this video, is if you took profit like I did at AR at $44 and $45, right? And you only bought the exact same amount of tokens you had back minus the $12 you made per token right now, what would you be at? Well, if you had 1,000 tokens, you'd have $12,000 extra to buy the same amount of tokens. And now you could buy 12,000 more. You could put that in a private sale. You can compound your gains. But if you held it in AR, you'd have lost 12,000 plus from the actual holding that you have, and you wouldn't have made anything and you can't actually buy anything. So you take profits so you can actually redistribute your profit. If you do that, you'll always have money and dry powder, and you should always keep or try to keep at least 5 to 10%. Many people will even say 20% in stables. Now during the bull market, I don't do that. I put them all into the layer ones that I'm trading with. So if it's on Solana, I keep it in Solana. If it's on ETH, I keep it on ETH. If it's in BNB, I keep it in BNB, because we're in a bull market and it's likely that the US dollar is not going to go up versus these coins for the next year. So be smart about it and start planning that stuff ahead, because if you don't plan for where you're going to take profit, you're not going to take profit at all. You're just going to sit there and you're going to watch the price go up and down, and you'll still end up making a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but you will miss out on compounding your gains, which then makes you have free entries into projects, right? If you make 100 grand on a project that you put 5K in because it did 20x, you can now invest in 20 projects with almost zero risk, right? You could do 19 projects and take your 5 grand back, and now you have 19 projects to invest into, which then that 5 grand could turn into 100 again, 100 again, 100 again, and you're gonna have a few that won't work out, but that's okay. You just need to think about it, and that's only a 20x. If you put 5,000 in, it does 100x, like NGL did, like Entangle. Even if you got 10% of your tokens, you've just massively gained, right? So you have to start thinking in this perspective, especially as we go into the halving in the bull market. And remember, I'm telling you guys, it's very likely you only have 13 months left. I will be out in May 2025 unless I see something crazy happen. So start planning the next 13 months of your life. Get your ass in gear. Stop wasting time watching Netflix. Stop wasting time doing anything. Get your head in the game. If you don't take this opportunity right now, you're missing out on the biggest gains that this market will probably ever give you, period. And if you miss out on those gains, guess what? You're not gonna have a chance to make the type of money which can change your life. Take the time, do it right now.